Root of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Root of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E. It is 2024. Can you believe it? Season's greetings to you all. And what a pleasure it is to come back once again for a new year. Oh my goodness, we are starting a new season, and this is our 4th year running, which is absolutely incredible. And it would not have been possible without each and every one of you who is listening, has listened, and of course will listen. Thank you for sharing this episode. Thank you for liking. Thank you for retweeting, and thank you for reposting. Also, importantly, thank you to every single one of the guests who's been on the show rather. It is such a privilege to have spoken to over 130 of you. Goodness me, I've spoken a lot. Now, use your reminder that you can listen to this episode on all your favorite podcast streaming, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and wherever else you listen. And make sure that you hit that notification button so that you know when a new episode is live. We also on YouTube as well. Take a listen to us there and leave a comment right there so that we can engage with you to know what you thought of that episode. We are also on social media, and we are ready to engage with you there as well. Remember that if you want to chat to me this year, please send me a message on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, or Facebook, or also on LinkedIn, or alternatively, send me an email at rootofthesciencepod@gmail.com. And we as a team are so ready to create some magic this year and all the amazing things that are obviously going to happen this year ahead. Shall we get into today's episode? My guest today is Oloitan Owoyemi from Nigeria. Oloitan is an expert in medical solutions, a science communicator, and a business development consultant. In this episode, he shares his unique insights into the dynamic field of medical solutions, and we get to know what it is all about. He shares with us some of the transformative technology advancements that are currently happening in this field, and also some of the projects that are shaping the future for medical solutions. We talk about some of the projects that he's been on, and also talking about the medical solutions industry in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Tune in to all of this and, of course, so much more. Let's go. Hello, Oloitan. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Han. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. I'm so excited to get to know more about you and, of course, to hear about all of the amazing things that you do. But first things first, let's get the ball rolling. Would you kindly introduce yourself for the listeners out there?
Yeah, my name is Olai. Thank you for having me once again. And my name is Oloitan Owoyemi. I am a medical diagnostic solutions expert and a science communicator, as well as a business development consultant. So what that basically means, the whole ambiguity is that I am very much involved in providing the best and the right medical and research solutions for professionals in their fields. So providing technical sales and just business development recommendations for people to do great research, get funding for their research, as well as also to do great work for research and development. So contributing basically to the development of research and development for economic growth and prosperity. That's basically what I do.
Amazing. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us. And we're going to get into more in depth about everything that you do through the course of our conversation. But first things first, you already touched on it, but you did mention that you're a medical solutions expert. So what
What exactly does this involve? How do you become this person?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yeah, a medical solutions expert. So I'll just do a quick background. So I am from a microbiology background, and I have my second degree in microbiology as well. But beyond all of that, I remember there was a particular day where I stepped out of the lab and I was saying to myself, what other skills do I have to explore? Apart from my wet lab experience, research experience, what else can I do? And I recently noticed that I almost immediately I noticed that I could pitch myself authentically and I could speak very well. And so communications was it for me. So, and science communication came in the picture at the time. So then I started joining projects, antibiotic resistance awareness projects, and all of that, advocacy projects and all of that. But basically, I just wanted to also do more. So I got into the medical diagnostics and research field. And it was it for me. It was it for me. So it is basically just we realize that research people and medical people are not business oriented people. So you find out that maybe a scientist now won a grant of $1 billion or naira or in dollars, and he wants to just buy this equipment, buy that equipment, and at the end of the day, it gets to him. It's not being fully utilized. It even ends up being there on the bench in the laboratory just for pictures. So the place of being a medical solution expert is for me to be able to do some sort of consultative selling and sit down with you. Okay, you have a lab, you want to open a lab, you want to be able to run medical, you want to be able to run full blood count, for example. Maybe you've been doing that with a microscope. So I can say, okay, how many walking clients do you have for full blood count in a day? So let's calculate that. Let's see if that there will be, if you invest this particular amount in this machine, it will be fully utilized when you get it. Reagent will not expire on you. You'll be able, and what other ways what other strategies can we use to, even if you don't have the numbers, what other strategies can we use to draw samples from your community, marketing strategy, draw samples and partnerships from your community, and just see to it that the machine doesn't end up useless in your lab.
Wow, that's such an important job. And I think it's very, I don't want to say it's underrated, but in the sense that, like, I think particularly scientists, as myself, we are not taught these skills, right? So you become a scientist, you graduate, you have your doctorate, then they say lead a research lab and apply for a grant, but you don't know these practical economic skills, you don't know the marketing skills, and that's a huge problem, and there's a big disconnect. So I think it's so important, this area of expertise, it's so important. So far, how has the buy-in, researchers or scientists or organizations who you want to work with, are they receptive to getting this type of assistance from you?
Most definitely. We've worked with a lot of researchers. We've helped them, just giving them peace of mind so that they can focus with their research. Because we have researchers who will provide all their materials and equipment for them during the course of their research, and they are able to do quality research and win grants from it. And I was with one of them, and she was saying, "Oh, thank you for the great work you did." Some few months back, she's setting up a GMP lab. She won a grant. She's setting up a GMP lab. So we just provide the equipment, every other thing that we need to provide for the lab to be effective, functioning, and also be sure that you save money as well too, so you don't buy things that will come in useless. So she was really thankful of the work that we did, to say, "Oh, thank you," because if you don't get good materials for your research, you can't do good, you can't get quality results, and you can't and most of the people in this market, they are most times in this part of the world, they are most times uneducated traders who are just importing chemicals from from
Yeah.
China. I really don't even know the basics. So we
Yeah.
can provide this kind of consultative. Oh, okay, you want to get this particular ELISA kit. What are you working on? I can tell you, get 48 tests, get 96 tests ELISA kit, or maybe a active pharmaceutical ingredients. Maybe you don't know whether you need the pure analytical grade of that. Maybe you want maybe streptozotocin or DPPH. So you don't know whether you would be needing the active pharmaceutical ingredient of that drug, the HPLC grade or the GCMS grade or the reference standard in the US pharmacopoeia. So we just provide that because we have that product knowledge, so we can provide that guidance for you, and they are really just happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And it's such fantastic work. I like what you said earlier, that the scientist or the researcher can just focus on the science, because now they can do what they're good at, and they can consult you to do what they have to do. So in your area of expertise, working in this field, particularly in the medical industry, you touched on something already about how the suppliers don't even know what they're supplying. They're just buying and trying to sell it. Apart from such things, what other significant challenges are actually prevalent in the medical industry that you've seen to date? And I'm sure you're going to focus particularly in Nigeria, because that's where you are based.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one major challenge that we have is, yes, we have competition with some of these other traders that just bringing these chemicals for money. They just want to make money. And another basic challenge is the fact that a lot of we don't have any local manufacturer. So a lot of us, we have to also still depend on foreign suppliers to get these research products. So we don't have enough government funding or backing to get research, to do research and manufacture research and laboratory supplies. So that's a major issue we have in Africa. So a lot of the funds Lagos is a amazing and a large emerging market for it. You're finding a lot of business development people from manufacturing, chemical manufacturing companies in China, in Germany, are coming into Lagos every day. But the bulkload of the revenue is being repatriated back to the manufacturer's country, and most times we have to even pay your manufacturers and suppliers in dollars. So it makes it's very expensive. So research is very expensive. So people struggle to do research if there's no funding. Researchers struggle, and most times is usually personally funded. So they struggle to do quality research in this part of Africa. So we need more, partnerships, foreign direct investments to come into Africa to set up manufacturing plants. So that's one big major issue that we have.
No, that's understandable. I can imagine that, the funds end up going, it's like a leaching of funds, and it can be a great opportunity if manufacturers do set up home in these countries, because it allows for economic development where people can have jobs, etc. And that's something that is I think it's not a Nigeria problem alone. I think it's it's an African problem with the global West, and hopefully there can be some sort of transformation, because it really does limit the economic growth of our particular countries.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So further, you work with all these wonderful tools and technology. For someone who's not in the medical solutions industry, or is not in the medical field at all, what are some of the key technologies and advancements that you have seen in recent years that can have really transformative impact in terms of medical solutions?
That's a AI, it's the future. Yeah, I think, yeah,
Yeah.
that's AI. That's AI. That's the future.
Yeah.
Any company, any thinking company will harness the power of AI immediately. I think most
Yeah.
of the conglomerates like Alphabet, Meta, Tesla, all of them are already harnessing the power of AI. So I'll use this one as an example. I recently saw
Sure.
a digital health solution, and what this digital health
Mm.
solution does is that like a chip that is embedded into the toilet seats. So it's basically on the toilet
Okay.
seats at the homes of patients. So whenever the patient goes to the toilet and sits down, that toilet seat takes the heart rates and the blood pressure of that patient and
Wow.
sends it to his physician. So intermittently, the heart rate and blood pressure is being taken. And this can just help physicians to be able to use that data to give patients the right and to get properly diagnose their conditions and give them the right treatments. So it's really just amazing. Helping, we have a lot of wearable device technology. We have a lot of smartwatches that can do
Mm.
this now, a lot of wearable patches that you can just wear on your skin, and it's taking data for you and analyzing your. So it's really beautiful. The field of technology, AI, artificial intelligence for digital led solutions, helping physicians, most especially, is very amazing. It's very amazing.
Yeah, no, wow, that's so cool. I also I love AI and what it's doing,
Yeah.
particularly in the medical health industry. But that one about the toilets, that's mind blowing.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really amazing.
So
there are lots still
yeah,
coming on. There are
yeah.
lots of them.
People are so innovative, obviously,
Yeah.
and it's exciting to see that. And just to further pull this thread of some of the exciting things that you've seen, you've clearly worked with a lot of various different scientists, and you've worked on different types of projects. Would you mind sharing some, or one rather, that you really enjoyed working on in the past, that you and that you've been involved in the past, and some of the positive impact it's had?
Oh, yes. I think I mentioned one already, but I'll mention, you pardon me to mention another one that I really liked, that I was involved. But earlier when I started, I said that I was involved in a antibiotic resistance awareness education training. So what we did was that we looked at the group of individuals in our communities that could help proliferate awareness for antibiotic resistance, antibiotic misuse, which is caused by antibiotic misuse and abuse. Because in this part of my country, people want to go for parties, for example, and they want to be able to eat enough. So they pop in antibiotics like Flagyl or tetracycline to stop them from stooling. So there's a lot of misuse and abuse. So we looked at, okay, if we get the secondary school students, because we have to be able to bring our science to what everybody can understand. That's what science communication is all about. So we said, if we get the secondary school students, they will in turn educate their parents that might not really be learned. And we targeted the market women too, because we know that women are of every society. So we target the market women, communicate our science to them in more contextualized science communication that they can understand in layman terms, for them to really understand what antibiotic resistance is. So it was really beautiful. So we educated students all across various secondary schools, and we educated market women as well. So that was one I really loved being a part of. And second one was that I helped start up a new laboratory. So this particular client was abroad, and he was looking to set up something here. So I was really just able to give advice on the basic entry level solutions that he can start the lab with, and the lab is currently running till date. So so I mentioned too. Sorry about that.
No, the more the merrier. And you can clearly hear
Yeah.
that you absolutely love what you do. And I think it's so important. It's so important to love what you do, and also the work that you're doing. And it's got a nice blend of your communications and the science communication aspect and the science engagement aspect, which is pretty exciting. So with this being said, and you painting the picture of what's currently happening on the ground and some of the work that you've been part of and some of the challenges, what is your hope for the future when you think of the challenges and the opportunities available for medical solutions, particularly for you in terms of just your career and also just overall in this particular industry?
Yes, at some point, career-wise, I would definitely want to be involved in policy making and nation building. Of course, I might have to find my way into politics or probably into a government parastatal organizations that handle that. But beyond all of that, the future for medical solutions and research is to. Yes, we have a lot of advancing technologies out there now, but we also must be able to make solutions that are affordable for our because the global manufacturers like Merck, Roche, Thermo Fisher, Thermo Scientific, and all of them, they are not really making solutions for. They are going global by penetrating new territories, but they are not really making localized solutions for each territory they are expanding into. So we as Africans need to make medical solutions that for Africans by Africans that are affordable for Africans to use and buy to as well too. So developing programs that will be easy for researchers to access and get these machines into their lab to do machines, maybe payment plans, flexible payment plans over the years. That would just be easy for a researcher to get. Maybe it's a centrifuge that he wants, or maybe it's a codes, whatever kind of machine he needs for his research. So developing programs towards that, and also looking out at positioning ourselves to attract foreign direct investments to now begin to manufacture solutions for Africans, that by Africans.
Absolutely. I love that. Solutions by Africans for Africa. It actually just quickly makes me think of that AI solution that you said, the one that you put in the toilet. I was just thinking like, that's a great idea, particularly in the developed world, right? Where toilets are with the cistern, etc. But what of in Africa, where a lot of people do not have adequate sanitation systems? So where would you put that AI chip? So I think where, for example, maybe they have pit latrines or etc. So I think it's quite interesting to really think of solutions that are great as well, and not solutions that are like half measured, still at the same level, but they are adapted to our environments and to solve solutions that can really also help and benefit local people. So I think it's absolutely great.
Absolutely,
yeah. No, it's been so lovely chatting with you today. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure my listeners have also learned a lot. Thank you for your time, and thank you for speaking to me. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Really wonderful engaging you too.
Okay, and to everybody else who's tuned in, thank you so much for listening to another episode of The Root of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E. Until next time, goodbye.